We're back. Episode
Back.
33?
34.
We don't
34?
count that high.
I'm out of
That's a
toes.
big number I have.
If we
Yeah.
all get together, one, two, okay. Anyways, one of them we'll remember at some point. But welcome back. Joining us today, Mr. Adrenaline himself, Jacob Hardison, in the
Hello,
chat. Gonna talk about all sorts of things and stuff. Pick his brain of running a track and a hobby shop and doing YouTube things and stuff. Till then, let's roll the disclaimer. There it is. Disclaimer. You're about to listen/watch a podcast hosted by a group of friends who tend to use vulgar language and profanity, and also enjoy pounding adult beverages. Viewer discretion is advised. Lastly, we may be making some bold statements. All views and statements made in this podcast do not reflect the views of any sponsors, guests, followers, or any supporters of this podcast. So be cool and don't get offended. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoy.
RC racing is boring to watch.
So I wanted to start out asking a whole bunch of questions that are non-RC related. Blondes or brunettes?
Take the win! Aiden in the two spot! A last turn! Oh, that's Davey. Oh, goodbye. We are back. So, Mr. Jacob, let's just go ahead and let's just start at the beginning.
Oh, shoot.
How did you get into playing with toy cars?
Little
So-
6 pound, 5 ounce. Just joking.
So basically, when I was younger, I would always get like the Toys R Us, Walmart, Target cars and stuff, and inevitably they'd break in like 5 minutes. And my dad basically got kind of fed up with like doing that over and over again. And there was a guy he was working with that was going to a local hobby shop we had here. And was like, "Oh yeah, this Traxxas Slash, it's the greatest thing." And so he went, and for Christmas that year, he got one for me after we went and did a couple like test drives. He wanted to make sure that I was actually going to be like into it, basically. And that was short lived. I hit an ice patch and went into a basketball hoop within 5 minutes. So that was fun. And then from there, for like a year, we mostly just did like bashing stuff around the house. And then there was a track in the park. We never went to any like events or anything, but we'd go out there, me, my buddy, and my dad, and we would time each other on our phone and then see like who would get the quickest lap. And I actually did YouTube videos then. That channel no longer exists. But we made videos of driving the cars and stuff. And then from there, the local hobby shop that we had in town moved to a facility where they could actually have like an indoor clay track. And I had broken the car. And this was before I actually knew that there was like actual racing stuff. I knew of the track and stuff, obviously. But I didn't know of like the racing end of things. So we went, got that part, and the guy that was running the shop was like, "Oh yeah, you should come do some racing at some point." So I think within like a week or two, we went to a race in the fall. I think it was their like fall brawl is what they called it, something like that. Raced a sportsman class, and from there it was all just kind of history. I was hooked. So
It wasn't like a deal where your dad did it back in the day or anything. It was just kind of like you guys like kind of discovered it together, I guess. And
to some extent, yeah.
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 Okay, so like so at what point did you, because ever since I've known you, I mean, first time I met you was back in, I think it was like 17 or something, like right when you guys first opened. And you were fast then, like super fast. So like at what point did you like realize you kind of had like a natural talent with it and started like getting pretty serious on the racing scene?
So I really started doing a lot of traveling stuff probably in 2013, which was a little bit by force because that same local track that I had ended up closing down. So we would go to a bunch of races, within an hour or two of Winchester. And I don't know if there was necessarily like a specific moment where I was like, oh, wow, I can actually like do this. I just kind of kept progressing throughout time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I can't say that there was like an aha moment necessarily. It was just kind of a natural progression.
Okay. Now, at what point did the idea to have your own shop and your own track, when did that fall into play for the Hardison family?
So that was 2014 area, basically a year after we had been doing a lot of traveling, and my dad was like, "You know what? I don't want to do all this traveling stuff." And he was also super into just like building business,
Mm-hmm.
and he had some free time, and he was like, why not? So we were able to kind of fill that void in the Winchester area, so that way we could bring the hobby back to everybody that was already in it. That way they could
Mm-hmm.
get back in it or continue doing it, whatever the case may be. So that's how the shop got started. It was, I guess you could say, my dad was lazy of wanting to travel.
I don't blame him if I had
But
the
yeah, I mean,
resources.
he's super into building business, and this was like a little, like, it's not a little project anymore, but it was his project.
Yeah.
Call it maybe even a midlife crisis.
What year was it that Adrenaline first opened?
I believe we officially opened 2015 with an outdoor track, which is actually the same location where the indoor track is now. The container's in the same spot. The orientation of the track is different. But we did that for a summer just to make sure that, all right, yeah, everybody in the area still wants to do it, and there was some sort of like crowd for it. And once we kind of confirmed that, then we decided, well, not we, he decided to, build the two buildings and then get started with where we are now. So the shop was actually originally across the parking lot. The track was always where it is now, but in the trucking company building upstairs is where the shop originated.
Okay.
So
After the
oh,
slash, I was going to back up a little bit. After the slash, what came after the slash in your racing?
I believe it was the Gen 1 SCTE from
Oh,
Losi.
hell yeah.
Big short course guy.
Yep. Go ahead, Alex.
so
That's
you
why.
you rode the Lucy train for a while, pretty much till the ship sank.
Kind of, sort of. So I did the Losi short course truck, and then I had each generation of that. And then my first A scale buggy was an MBX 7R, no, MBX 6 USA edition.
Oh,
I like this guy.
oh.
Of that.
I like this guy.
So
Taylor just got hard.
there.
Well,
mean,
I was already hard when he talked about the Losi short course truck, and now the beacon.
So I mean,
Ectoplasm everywhere.
brand specific necessarily. It wasn't until like I started getting a little bit more serious, so I was like, oh wow, it'd be so cool to have all the same stuff. But I kind of did just put everything. I mean, for a long time, that was the gig, LOC or TLR short course, depending on as we worked through the generations.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had the MBX 6 for a while, and I do think that I did trade off of that for a brief moment with the 830, and that wasn't great. So
Especially when
I
you're
then
used to
went back
perfection.
to
Am I
Mugen.
right?
What was that?
Especially when you're used to perfection, and then you go.
Yeah, I mean it's hard, to get off of that, right?
Yeah.
So then we swapped back to the Mugen, and then I rode that kind of train again for a little bit. And that 7R Eco, that was a good car to me. I like that car.
Was that your last generation Mugen before you switched back to a different brand? The 7R?
Yes. I don't remember. Oh no. Yeah. I went 7R. I thought that maybe I'd swap brands before I went back with an 8. And I think the 8 came out, and the MBX 8, that is, not the Losi 8. But I was not super pumped on that car either. I definitely was hoping that, going from what was one of the greater Mugen cars to the 8 would have been a little bit nicer, but I mean, it wasn't a bad car. It more specifically on the indoor track just had a lot of it just didn't have a lot of rotation. So I guess you could say it had a lot of rear grip. And since I did a lot of my racing here, it made it kind of tough to like really get behind it. Like bigger outdoor tracks, it was pretty good. But again, since I did 90% of my driving here, it was hard to stick with it.
Uh, Taylor, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the stigma like the 6 was like the cat's ass, the 7 was like, I miss my 6, and then the 8 was like, okay, this is the one, right?
There's a few people. It depends on who you talk to. Um, Now Kevin might shoot me if I misquote him. I think he liked the 6.
Yeah.
But it just I've gotten different answers.
Okay.
So there's a few different people always have their favorites.
Yeah.
So
And
it probably just goes back to driving style. And
yeah.
That's something we're probably going to get into that I wanted to touch on because Jacob's driven so many brands of cars. I really think what one you prefer goes to your driving style and skill level. So
definitely. And like Jacob said, when you're pretty much only racing at the time, only racing on your track, you're gonna get what works best for you on that track.
Yep.
So, okay. So when did you get back into Losi then? What was that? Like the 8X or?
That was the 8X20.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know exactly what. I mean, I think there was a guy that was here. I test drove his car, and I was like, "This ain't that bad." And then a little bit of fanboy of just like oh wow, I'm just gonna do everything Dakota Fen does.
Oh yeah.
When I did that, I did the TLR car with the ultimate engine, the Nitro Lux fuel, the JC tires. I was like, I'll just do exactly what he does, and then in theory, everything should be okay.
Perfect theory.
So, that car was pretty good to me.
now speaking on that, and don't let me cut you off, Alex. Did you ever plan to try and go pro and chase the circuit like some of those guys who were just talking about copying Dakota Fen setup? Like, there had to be a little bit of itch for a little while at least.
Yeah, I think that when I ran for hot bodies, then swapped to Associated, that kind of like 2-3 year time frame. I want to say that was like 1920 area, 18, 19, 20. That kind of gist. I did a lot of traveling. I think I did the majority of my traveling with the Associated car, doing DNC, Silver State, PMB, AMS, SIC. No, I didn't do SIC with the Associated car, but I did do. Generally the full circuit, Wicked, Nationals. I think I hit everything that really needed to be hit, and it was cool. It was fun. It was. I'm not super big on like being away from home a ton. I'm not a big travel guy.
Yeah.
It was cool to experience and at least give myself the shot of seeing where I could go. And I feel like I got fairly far. I never got to the point where like anybody was like, "Oh, hey, we're gonna give you money to do this." But I had a good little run.
Are you thinking it's over and done with now when you say it like that in past tense, Jacob?
There's little parts of me that I think it'd be cool to go and try again, but then at the same time, I'm busy and I've got, other ambitions in life also. So between, doing the shop, having to do, the different like track builds throughout the year, doing the YouTube stuff, and then just not living and breathing RC 24/7. It's the thought's cool, but it's tough to really say, oh yeah, I want to do that.
Now, you did elaborate that you're extremely busy and you're already living and breathing RC all the time. Are there any races and events that you want to travel to besides Adrenaline to try and do this year or the next year?
The plan is to do PNB. There's a Virginia series that has been set up that I think would be cool to hit a couple of those. Just since I mean, our track is part of the series, so I'd like to support the surrounding tracks. I'd like to do Mugen Challenge again this year. Wicked would be cool, but I mean, if I do big events, PMB, Wicked, Mugen Challenge would probably be the three that I would end up at.
Are you going to be using the Typhon at all those races?
Oh, of course. I mean, it's a real speed demon. So
Big armor guy. Yeah,
big armor guy.
I am.
So if you want to sponsor me again, you just hook me up with a few Typhons. We're good to go.
I am a little upset. I haven't got to see you race it yet, like at an event.
I raced it once at our points race, and I mean, it did pretty well. I don't know. I try to not like toot my own horn too much, but I mean, it did win, and I mean, it was within a couple of tenths of my AE car at the time. So.
Okay.
So
There it is.
I kind of want to dive
Yeah.
into that real quick.
Let's all go back to Bashers.
Yeah.
Yep.
How much money, besides like the car and like a proper power system, battery, servo, do you have any money really into the car on top of that, like special springs or customizing any parts, anything like that?
Nothing super crazy. I haven't gotten to my super sweaty point yet with it, where like I'm like mix
Yeah.
matching parts.
You're not shaving A arms yet, and
Springs, diff oils, wing, tires, sway bar. I think that's the things that I've done so far. So I mean, it's not a super crazy list. I think the next thing I'm gonna do is he's been pretty adamant about me getting the stock pistons out. So I think that's what we'll do next.
so you really haven't done anything far off of what anyone would do with any kit car.
No. Oh, I mean, I guess I've changed pills too. I've done that.
It
I
comes
don't
with pills, though.
know of
That's
anything
part
that's
of it.
just like super major off the top of my head. I mean, I think that definitely having the good power system helps a little bit, but I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
that's only going to get so far if the car is just.
Yeah, if it won't
Not-
handle.
But yeah, I mean, nothing crazy yet. It's done well on the outdoor track for sure. The indoor track is a bit more up in the air because of how tight it is
Mhm.
and the weight and the push of the Typhon. I mean, you really kind of have to huck it around to get it to do what you want it to do. I think I've gotten to a point now where I can run the same lap time over and over without having to do as much of the huck. But it definitely doesn't have the raw speed just yet. I think like an 18.8 is what I got down to, of which I mean is an okay ways off of what my hot lap is on this layout.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because sounds like you've done significantly less to your Arma than I've done to my Techno. So
Now, would you say,
To-
in a tribute to the people listening that don't know, and maybe the other people at Adrenaline that probably sold their Technos and everything else after you kick their ass with an Arma, that you'd attribute most of it to practice, driver skill, experience, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, if you hand any of the pro guys anything, I mean, they're probably still gonna kick everybody's butt at the end of the day. I mean, if you put, Mayfield and Typhon against Dakota in a prime, his prime X-ray, okay, maybe not. But if you send Mayfield to a general like club race sort of thing, he's still gonna lap you 5 times probably because he's just that good.
Yeah.
for sure.
And that's the part that pisses me off.
Yeah, none of it even matters at the end of the day.
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to wind into focusing on Adrenaline, your brand.
Okay.
It seems like from, looking in the, outside looking in, that you've pretty much taken like full reins of the business, the track. So are you like executive GM? Like what's your title? World Adrenaline Manager? Where?
But I guess you could consider me the manager of the Winchester side, but I mean, there's still a lot that like I don't do. Like Hannah does all of like the social media like and ordering stuff, all that back end stuff. And my dad definitely still makes, you know, the big dog decisions. I mean, from a day to day operation sort of thing, I take care of all that. Making sure that everything in the shop stays running appropriately, and then of course, on race days, making sure that the program and everything runs smooth. So, I mean, there's still plenty of responsibilities that I don't do, but I mean, I like to think I do an okay amount.
It seems like when I'm down there, you're running around pretty good and still keeping it, all the fires out and everything runs super
Yep.
smooth. So it's always impressive to see that. One of the reasons I like going down there compared to going to a track that's more local to me is I know I'm going to have a good program driving 2.5 hours south and
Yep.
driving an hour east, or not east,
That
west,
is
whichever
for
way.
me. I hate a bad race program.
Yeah. Lost my train of thought. I had a really good train of thought. Oh, do you consider how much of a workload you've been taking with the shop, the track? Do you enjoy that more compared to being able to go play Racer Boy more often, or have you like found your niche in the hobby with where you're at right now?
It depends on the day. I think. I mean, there's some days where like, yeah, I mean, it kind of like what I was talking about earlier. Like, it'd be cool to go out and do the racer boy stuff. But I mean, I've definitely in the early days, when I was a wee little lad, I definitely didn't care nearly as much about the shop stuff. But I take a lot more pride in what I do and the work that I put out, whether it be, for the in shop stuff, the track, the race program, the YouTube stuff. One of my biggest things is I want to put out quality stuff. I mean, to some extent, if I'm going to do something, I want to do it right, or at least the best of my ability. So I think that, I guess that kind of answers the question a little bit. I'm kind of middle-ish, but definitely, I think more. I found my niche, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
What sparked? Oh, go ahead, Alex. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say real quick. I like to compare you, Jacob, to our boy Gary V, because you guys are both like wicked fast, but then at the same time, you guys just are always smiling and having fun, and like we can just tell you aren't taking it as serious as we know you could, but that's
Mhm.
like, you know, good for you. You know what I mean? Like you're still having fun. Like it doesn't matter, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
wicked.
I think that's huge. I mean, if you're not having fun, I mean, what are you doing? I mean, for the people that are getting paid, yeah, take it serious. But for everybody else, there's just no point in taking it so serious. At the end of the day, yes, we are racing; it's a serious thing, but we're playing toy cars. That's really the root of what we're doing here, and half of this stuff doesn't matter. So as long as you can go to the track, have a fun day, say you hung out with your buddies, I think that's the most important thing.
Agreed.
What sparked the idea to start doing all the YouTube stuff?
Yeah, that was the Lee Setzer. We
Oh
were
yeah,
at the shop one
Who's
day,
that?
and yeah,
never heard of them.
I have heard a couple things. I saw a comment one time from him on like Facebook, which is what popped in my mind for the YouTube thing.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
um yeah, we were in the shop one day, and he was like, "Yeah, I was thinking about doing this YouTube thing, and you should totally do that because you have so much more variety of stuff that you can do. Because obviously I'm not locked into anything.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Obviously, I've focused a lot on the racing end of things for YouTube, but if I wanted to film a car with a Kyosho one day and find an old Durango the next day, I could do that. I don't have any ties to anything, so that's how that started.
That's one of the coolest things about it too, Jacob, that I take what you say like as you say it versus I'm not saying I don't trust Lee, but he does have to represent the brand that he's probably doing a video for, and we're probably only going to hear the good things about said brand. But when you have somebody that's able to drive, we were just talking about an Arma, we talked about your TLR stuff, your AE stuff, like, and then you got a lot of years behind you of experience. Got a lot to say, good or bad.
Yeah, I'm definitely in a very unique position from that standpoint, and I mean, I try to not talk super bad about stuff because I mean I just
Okay, next
don't want to bring
question.
that negativity.
What's the biggest pile of shit you've driven?
Probably
That's-
that 3.0 Losi.
I mean that was a pretty bad car.
I think the whole hobby.
I
can
wasn't
agree on
actually
that.
expecting you to answer, but
Oh, I mean, there you go. I mean, that 3.0, I mean, it was between not knowing a lot of setup stuff and then it, man, I feel like that the low CTLR stuff is kind of finicky a little bit with its happy spot. And that definitely was not the most spectacular time.
being that you have hopped around with so many brands and tried so much stuff, what advice would you give to people wanting to try different things or stick with one brand? I feel like there's so many rows that we can touch on, whether it's people that want to hop to a different sponsor every year or stick with one brand, try and learn it, get proficient with that one type of car. What suggestions do you have to those newer people that are probably in their first 5 years of racing, Jacob?
Buy something that's easy to work on and it's consistent and it's durable. That's the super big thing. Regardless of what I run, my go-to for everybody is if you want to do e-buggy, we'll use that as an example. Go the Techno E4822. It might not be the quickest thing without some hop-up parts, but you're gonna go to the track. You're not gonna wear the car out, super fast. You can hit stuff and it's not gonna blow up. It drives consistent. It's got a good base setup on it. It is probably one of my most favorite builds to date. I've built a lot of them. And I mean, it's gotten to the point where actually if people come in the shop and they buy one, I'm like, oh, if you want me to build that for you, I totally could. I mean, it's just the fit and finish of everything and how it goes together and how the bags are laid out. It's just so easy. It takes something that, as a beginner seems very daunting of, wow, I have all these parts in front of me. I don't even know where to start. Obviously, I mean, you have the manual, but it's really hard to talk bad about that car for anybody in their first, second, or third year, or even if it's just somebody that doesn't want to spend, an arm and a leg on something. They just want to go to the track and have fun. It's a really good platform. No extra shaving or anything. It goes together and it works.
Yeah, you could really
And-
just put the kit setup on that and have
Mhm.
fun.
I was gonna say to-
non-biased comment, but the Techno manual is amazing.
Yes.
It really
really
is.
go ahead.
They spend a lot of time making that thing, and it's really nice.
Yep.
To piggyback off that question, for somebody even newer to the hobby, let's say their first year they don't have an e-buggy, or would you recommend somebody right away to get a techno kit, or to buy the more RTR Arma or something like that? Say they don't have anything yet.
I think it really depends on where they're at and what they're wanting to do. It's somebody that, the question I always ask is, what's the end game? And if it's somebody that, isn't quite sure what they want to do, they just know that they want to do RC, get a slash 4x4, get a Seton 4x4. You can bash it outside, you can beat it up, but it also can go on the track. Whereas, there's some people that they come in the shop and they're like, I know I want to race. This is what I want to do. Just set me up with what I need. And even then, I mean, a lot of times I do always try to push people into the short course area because of, you have the bumpers, you have the body, you've got some protection. Naturally, rubbing is going to happen in that class. It's the nature of short course. You don't have a wing to, help you out with grip. You have to learn to drive the car as it is. I think short course truck is always going to be my kind of immediate go-to because of how popular e-buggy is nowadays. I mean, it's slightly tough to not guide people that way, but I mean, I guess to really go to the root of the question of where to guide people, it just depends on that first question of how they answer it, of if they know what they want or if they're just up in the air. But I mean, I think that you could definitely start out with a ready to run vehicle and not have too much trouble, because at the end of the day, you won't have any experience. so it's not going to matter. Now, I mean, if you happen to come across, something on Facebook Marketplace that's, a kit that's ready to run because somebody built it and they're just trying to sell it, then by all means, I mean, that's definitely not a bad way to go. But just comparing like new to new.
Looking at Mike's shirt, question popped in my mind. Adrenaline RC is pretty tight with J Concepts. How did that relationship begin?
So if you look through kind of the history of the shop, obviously, I mean, I have an okay amount of influence, and when I ran Proline, we mostly just stocked Proline. When I ran Hot Race, we didn't dominantly do Hot Race because they were still a newer brand at the time, but we started stocking some Hot Race stuff, and I switched to JC. And on top of that, Hannah has developed a relationship with the entire JC crew, doing the social media stuff for them, whether it be going to races or like product release stuff. So initially, me getting on the team, and then the kind of combination of both Hannah and I effectively. Yeah, I mean, I see sponsorship as you're working for somebody. So I mean, effectively, we both were working for JC. And it's just, I mean, it's hard to go against a very proven company. I mean, when you look around the United States, it's very rare that you're not going to see JC in the top 5 spots.
Absolutely. Looks like they're really trying to make a push too for the European market as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, completely non-biased. I truly think they are just the best tire out right now. Like, I mean, I'm not hooked up. I have a shirt because they're awesome. I really just think, and they put a lot of time in development.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, Allison and Jason really care about the company, care about the product.
How do you two get the shirts? But I don't.
Hmm.
You just gotta know people,
Yeah.
I have a couple.
I only have one. Back to Adrenaline. I see you guys are making some products now. You'd like to talk about that. You knew it was coming.
Right. Well, I am in front of the display case, so
Helps.
So kind of what initially started it is originally we had the USRC servos here, and we did that for I don't even know, just a long time. And there were some, periodic changes to kind of upgrade in the servo. And when we did this most recent batch, we were like, you know what? Let's just make it like it was already an in-house brand, but we wanted to have something that had our logo on it, and have some, I guess you call it credibility to some extent. And it's really cool to have our logo on something. And we already have the back end stuff of the servo itself. So, it was a matter of taking what we already had and then just officially making it our own.
Do you plan to eventually get into making more products of sorts?
Honestly, I have no clue. I mean, I'm sure it'll happen at some point, but I'm not in the loop for anything that's coming up the line here. As far as I know, it's just the servo for right now.
I'm honestly shocked that you haven't tried to develop your own car yet.
My own car?
Yeah.
How smart do you think I am?
Pretty smart.
I wouldn't even know where to start. Oh, that would
Piece of
probably
metal.
be a pretty terrible car for a while.
That could be the worst car you've ever driven then.
Yeah, probably. No, I mean I don't know my way around, I guess, but I mean I definitely, I don't think that I have the knowledge to do that. Let alone, I mean, just all of the program stuff behind that to actually just even design it to begin with. Sure, I could find somebody that could.
You just get
do
a
that
guy
better
for that,
than
yeah.
And I can only imagine the amount of money that would cost to develop.
Oh, yeah.
So, couple of
Definitely helps to have a 3D printer so you could
Oh. gonna
print,
say you can
go
yeah.
put it on the track, and then test and see if it works?
I mean, it depends on, I guess, what material you have access to. I don't know if I have huge trust in, you know, like 3D printed like arms.
I mean,
I
it'd
mean,
be
I'm
good
sure
to
they would
test
be all right,
before
but
you get like a molding made. In theory.
well,
you know?
the only thing though is that depending on what the plastic is, I mean, if it's softer in comparison to what like a molded arm would be, I mean, that's gonna play a pretty big factor into
Right.
the car feels. If it's
Right.
just random flexes that happen.
Right. That's a whole rabbit hole to go down. I don't want to go down right now.
Yeah.
Beyond products, is there anything coming up the pipe for Adrenaline, doing anything special, track wise, even location wise, anything you guys are thinking about trying to do to expand or improve what is already a great facility, but
I think right now we're in a bit of just a hold pattern. I mean, probably the next thing we would do is update the indoor pit lane. But I mean, we invested a lot last year into doing all the outdoor track stuff. Doing the driver stand was already there, but we raised it a little bit more. The pit lane was definitely a pretty big project. So I think we'll probably relax for just a little bit, and to do, I mean, that indoor pit lane, I mean, that's going to be a pretty big chunk of change. So I think we're just gonna kind of continue with where we're at right now, and then just as things become prevalent, and we'll kind of attack it. I feel like that's a lot of how the development has become here. You know, when we did the pit lane originally, where we had the culvert and then the gravel, that was great. And we are like, all right, we don't really have anything to mess with here. And then we had some pretty torrential downpours where now my gravel is kind of non-existent.
not where it was.
Yeah, definitely not where it was. So then, it showed us, hey, this is an issue. All right, now we need to attack it. Or we built a like a French drain at the top side of the track. For some reason, even before the water hit the track from like rainstorms, it was just getting so much speed off of like the interstate or something. I don't know. And then you get a ton of rain ruts. So at the very top side, now there's an entire gravel path that's been created that kind of helps to filter that some. We paved going up to the top side. I mean, that was pretty huge. That way we could have good pits up there. So I think that they're working on some stuff for the Chantilly store. We do a lot of drifting out there. I haven't been to that store in a while, so I mean, I don't really have the what's what on that. But I think that they're gonna start working on kind of resetting the store. Getting like new display case stuff, because I think that display case stuff is from when it was Hobby Hanger and Quan owned it, and that was, I mean, probably at least 20, 30 years old of display cases.
Wow.
And then they got a polisher, so that way they can kind of keep up with the maintenance on the drift track. Because we had a polish a couple years ago. Like I said, I mean, I haven't been there for a while, but I imagine that after it's been run on so much that it kind of needs a bit of a refresh. So from a Winchester side of things, nothing crazy happening. Just working on events, working on, we've got Spring Fling coming up, and we'll have the JC outdoor series. We'll have Vintage Nats right at the beginning of September, and then of course the Invitational at the beginning of October. So just kind of putting energy into those things.
So, the outdoor series, uh, is it only 10 scale?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all modern and vintage 10
Oh,
scale,
okay.
and then, like, you can't use any like. I mean, I don't think you'd be able to, but you can't use like bar tires or slicks. Like, you have to use a
Yeah.
traditional pin and rib setup to some extent, or pins front and back. So I think that's gonna be super cool. I 10 scale racing is just it's I don't even know how to describe it, but and it's not cool anymore. Be nice
Oh man,
to
you just
get some
broke Gary V's heart.
boost, throw some dirt in the air. I mean, obviously, I think 10 skill racing, where it is, it has its place and everything, but it just seems like every track is kind of the same.
I think
What would make it cool, Jacob, in your opinion?
Having some variety, not every single track being sealed on slicks. Something that it's kind of been correlated to. Not I don't have any on-road experience, but it's kind of gotten where like on-road has, where it's same thing every weekend, and then there's all these crazy new setup things. So you miss one event, now all of a sudden you're 2 seconds off pace because you missed the hot boy setup thing that happened at the last race. And I just obviously there's still going to be a lot of driver that plays into it, but I feel like it's kind of just like repetitive and setup based to some extent. Whereas, if you have a little bit of looseness to the track and you have to spend time working on the setup for each track, and then also, you have to be really precise, like with like throttle points and stuff. And that's like I said, that's not to say that those things aren't still a thing for what it is now. But like if you drive a full dry buggy on a sealed track, it's just kind of terrible. You take 50 points of steering out, you slow it down, 70%. Two-wheel drive on high grip, that's not bad. But four-wheel drive is definitely not fun. You're just kind of always trying to catch the car.
Yeah. Adrenaline though, indoor versus outdoor. What are you guys getting higher attendance for in general for some of your club races and stuff? Are you getting more people that show up on the winter indoor or outside summertime?
Generally speaking, from a club racing standpoint, it's fairly balanced, I think. What helps the indoor track a lot during the winter is, where else are you going to drive an A-scale buggy?
Absolutely.
I don't know of any other indoor tracks that are within a few hours of here that you could do that. And then obviously there's the one-off events where we'll do nitro. So I think that really does help the indoor track. But for like point series stuff, 60 to 75 entries is pretty standard. I do think that Invitational has gotten bigger. Last year with doing the outdoor track plus having the whole elite crew come out, a really good invite class. I think that definitely helped out a lot. And even the 10 skill stuff was the biggest it's ever been. So club racing wise, fairly balanced. One-off races, they have their own niches.
Any plans to change anything different for the invitational race this year? Or are we too far out to even start talking that?
Overall, event wise, it's gonna be pretty similar. We'll have Elite come out again to do all of the broadcast work. And we'll have the new layouts, both indoor and outdoor. So overall and then of course we'll have the food and stuff. So program will be pretty much the same. Other than that, when it comes to just like kind of like we were talking about earlier with like improvements around the facility, it just kind of taking stuff as it comes.
I don't want to take all the questions.
No, you're good.
Good.
You're doing great. Is that all you got for now?
Mike, what do you got?
Nothing at the moment. 'cause you took
Okay,
my
so
questions
Mike's
so far.
done talking now, and I wanted to ask, what do you not like in RC right now, Jacob? Like, what would you change? What are your just like, oh, that's really dumb. We should change this.
Why does everybody got to be sponsored? Why do we all have to have customer contracts? Let's go
Yeah.
back to the days where, everybody and their brother wasn't sponsored. You had to work really hard for it, and be top elite, were sponsored. For me, there's two ways that I see sponsorship. Either A, you're putting up results, which then in turn hopefully translates sales, or B, you're just selling a lot of product for the brand. I feel like if you're not doing one of those two things, you're just kind of along for the ride, and you have to give this specific person your money. From another standpoint on that, I think people get way too caught up in the sponsorship stuff and end up signing to products that are actually hindering them rather than helping them. You know, that was definitely a big thing when I was growing up with obviously as a kid, you always want to be sponsored,
Mm-hmm.
but my dad kind of always kept in my head, like just run whatever the best thing is at the moment or whatever the best thing is for you at the moment, because at the end of the day, that's going to pay much more in the future when you are continuing to put up big results. Whereas if you sign to something that isn't great and then you just suck for the year because you have to run something that isn't great, well, then you've just ruined any chance you've got of getting to that next level. It's
And
tough.
that probably affects your perspective too from owning and running a hobby shop, I'm guessing as well.
Oh yeah, that's a whole extra thing. To some extent, it is going to happen. The more and more that these companies are sponsoring people, whether it be a 20% deal or 50%, 75%, whatever it is, by just handing out tons and tons of contracts, effectively you're going to take sales away from the hobby shop. And then when the hobby shops and tracks no longer exist because you are selling direct to consumer, well, now you have nobody to sell to because you've just killed everybody that is the whole reason these people are racing to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
What are some ways that you think you could help fix this?
Other than just, not sponsoring everybody? There is always the route of, shops being the sponsor of a couple of local guys. I don't think that, you know, I mean, that could turn into kind of the same thing if you're just kind of like, hey, you get 10%, you get 10%. So I think the big thing is just kind of picking and choosing a few good representatives rather than just making everybody, I guess, feel good. I don't know. Um, I
think
can't
there's more
say that
to
I've got
that
a
too.
great solution other than just not sponsoring everybody.
So get all of your guys' opinion on this since we're talking about that. So if companies weren't doing that, do you think that there would actually be able to, that all these different little companies or even larger companies now would be able to survive if they weren't pushing direct to consumer of like say quote unquote like contracted customer?
I think it seems to be like if you were a startup brand right now, that seems to be the hot meal ticket where you're trying to just sponsor a whole bunch of people to try and get your name out there. And also, from a business perspective, it's actually smart for them because you're locking in what we call now contract customers. So even if you're telling them that you're giving them 20% off, you're still making a profit off those people.
Mm-hmm.
And now you
Yeah.
just lock those people in
Yeah, now those are guaranteed
for
sales.
a year. Yeah. And then if you tell them they have to run X amount of stuff or buy X amount of things and then do your advertising for you, that's advertising you don't have to do, advertising you don't have to pay for. It's kind of
Yeah.
smart for like a new business to try and do some of that stuff.
Yeah, I never
But
thought about it from that
And
standpoint. That's good.
so like and Jacob, since you own a hobby store, some of these brands don't exist in hobby stores. You know what I mean? They very well could, but I mean
Promotion. I'll
they're
say it.
they very well could exist in like a hobby shop, but you being a hobby shop owner, like you're tried and true J Concepts, why deviate from the tried and true, even though there's 10 different options? You know what I mean? And it goes for like accessory parts, everything. You know what I mean? Like,
The way that I look at it is if I'm not willing to run it, why on earth would anybody I'm selling to be willing to run it? If I don't fully believe in something, and I don't back it 100%, I don't believe that there's going to be a customer that is going to be like, hey, I know that you don't like this, but I'm going to do this anyway. Obviously, there's going to be people that will do that, But if I'm going to sell something, I want to sell something that I know is going to be good for them. It's going to be long lasting. It's going to be something that they can rely on and that they will be happy with. I don't want to sell somebody something that they're going to be unhappy with. And let alone the fact, I mean, it's really hard to push something that you don't fully believe in. So like for me, I mean, obviously, I mean, I run for JC, but it's hard to go, oh yeah, buy this tire over this, because I mean, it works. It's good stuff, and I believe in it. I know what it does. I can tell you, oh yeah, do this on this day, do this on this day. If you go here, do X, Y, Z. So it makes that end really easy. But the really really big thing is, like what I said before, is just if I don't believe in it, it's hard to make somebody else believe in it, and it's really hard to push it.
That's well said. Bravo.
It is. It makes me think of, like Taylor, you made the comment of people hopping around all the time to these different sponsorships.
Mhm.
Instead of like what Jacob did, what your dad told you, stick with what works, and eventually, things will happen, right? Um, yeah, it's people chasing the deal versus using the stuff that works. Well, I shouldn't say it that way. The stuff that you're used to, the stuff that everybody else uses, just why not? Tried and true. I don't know.
You're also, as Jacob, would be representing future income too for himself and his family, because he can't be telling people to buy like some Ching Chong Chinese brand knockoff product that's going to do well and not have return customers, and trash talk adrenaline as a whole of they sold me this part that doesn't work very well and it broke. Unfortunately, that one bad part sale could cost you 10 people of a lifetime of customers.
Yep.
Yeah, and actually, Taylor, going off that too, Jacob, you don't do the ordering per se, right, for adrenaline.
Mhm.
But as far as vendor experience, right? So when you have these items in your shop, I would assume that at least most of the companies, if you have an issue, you can go to them and be like, "Hey, customer bought this. They have a problem. I need it replaced, or I need it fixed, or I was shipped the wrong thing, or this package has the wrong parts in it, or whatever, or this battery's DOA. It has a dead cell, and I just sold it to somebody."
There's a couple companies that I mean are a little bit of a pain to work with, but generally speaking, yeah, if we have a problem, we can make a call to either the manufacturer, or if we can't get in contact with them, get in contact with the distributor. And the majority of the time, it works out that they're like, oh yeah, we'll take care of you. Send us a picture of whatever, taking a battery, for example, send us a picture of it hooked up to a balance wire to make sure that, like, just so we can see that there's a dead cell or something.
Mhm.
And other than that, I mean, there's definitely an okay amount of trust, I think, between the hobby shop and these distributors. I mean, it also helps that, I mean, we buy a lot of product, so I think that definitely helps to elevate us a little bit. But I mean, other than one or two companies, I mean, it's usually pretty straightforward.
Yeah, like I mean, for me on a personal standpoint, is like batteries, right? Um, you go to a hobby shop or whatever. Like say the last ones I just bought Red LCRC. There was a brand there that I've never used before, but
Mhm.
they're selling it. So like either they have a either they are that good and they believe in selling them because they don't carry stuff that they don't believe in, just like you. Or if I have an issue with it, it will get taken care of if I go back to Kevin and Krista. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So
Yeah,
yeah,
I try my best to take care of everybody. And then kind of going, with what Taylor was talking about. My rapport is everything. If people can't trust me, people aren't going to come to me, and yeah, I mean, effectively, we're just gonna sink ourselves. So I take a lot of pride in you know getting people set up with where they need to be.
Moving on from
good.
that,
Yeah.
what's next in the episode series for Jacob Hardison on Adrenaline RC?
I may do kind of just like a general update video either tomorrow or Wednesday. I gotta wait for a couple things to come in before I can do that. Of just kind of like getting ready for Motorama, track prep stuff. Just a little something to just get content out. And then next probably big thing is gonna be Motorama. I'm gonna try my best to do a full race weekend vlog of that.
I would love to see
My
more
race
vlogs
stuff. So
from everyone. I don't mean to talk over you, Jacob,
Yeah.
but that gets me happy. I love watching that stuff. Like
Mm.
I was just talking smack. Was it on Camden's, I think, or something like that? He was posting a couple video clips. I think it was him and Fuller were out there testing. I'm like, can't wait to see the vlog, because he talked he wants to do it. Once you just got to get going doing
It's
it. Like,
hard to
I
do,
like watching
too.
those.
it's a lot
And
of work.
I really
Yeah.
liked your one from Mugen. Like, I know it is a lot of work, but it was great. And it just popped up as a suggested video to watch the other weekend for me.
You definitely clicked on it.
And
Right?
I watched it as soon as it came out, man.
Oh yeah, you watched it again though, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All
No,
right.
I have it
He's,
playing
he's
on
had it on
loop.
repeat.
I'm watching it
Yeah,
right
He's had
now.
it on repeat.
yeah, I was cleaning the house and I was like, yeah, we'll have this going on in the background. Why not?
Yep.
And I seen how many views it had. I can't remember what it is now, but it seemed up there quite a bit. So
It's interesting
Taylor was
how
500 of them.
it's interesting what pops off and what doesn't. Like
Mhm.
there's times that
100%.
I'll do a video and I'm like, oh yeah, for sure. I mean, this will
Yeah, this is
will
gonna be a
do well.
banger.
Yeah.
I've had plenty of people ask me to do nitro stuff, and every time I've done a nitro video, they just don't do well. I don't know what it is, but like I did the clutch build video, and it just I mean I got a few views off of it. Or like some of like the unboxing, or I tried to do a like kind of like the RC newbie series of like, hey, this is how you repair like your Sentinel or Slash sort of thing. I thought for sure, oh yeah, those would be super big. But people really like the race vlog stuff and the Typhon stuff and setup stuff. That all is done pretty well.
How
I
about
can say the
I'll
race
talk over
vlog.
Mike because I don't care about
Yeah,
him.
yeah, screw you, Taylor.
Hey,
The
Mike,
race
I have a
vlog stuff's
question. I'm
awesome.
gonna talk over Mike.
But on a personal standpoint, Jacob, with your YouTube and really a lot of all the other content creators, I wouldn't necessarily. I know they may not do well all the time, but like all the different help videos of like how to build a clutch and all that stuff. Like once you get like that series down of like this is nitro stuff, like kind of like how Adam Drake does this like little 3-minute video or whatever. They're honestly super helpful. Like I know a lot about nitro, but I still watch them anyway because who knows, there might be something that I've never thought
Yep.
of doing. It's like just hearing somebody else's perspective on things.
Yeah. Oh, I
And I
mean,
will
sometimes
say,
I'll watch it just to confirm. Like, all right, yeah, I was thinking.
yeah, I'm not dumb. Yeah,
Makes me feel good.
yeah. But I've been watching I watched your setup stuff, and you really know what you're talking about, and you relay it in a good way. So don't shy away from that stuff.
It's like when I see like Morgan Freeman explaining something, it makes me warm and fuzzy and I can understand it, and that's how I feel when you tell me how I should adjust my droop. Oh, I get it now.
That, and it took like 5 of us like shunning you for a few weeks.
Yeah, wasn't allowed to sleep in my own camper.
This dude didn't set his droop for like 3 years.
No,
I mean, it's a conspiracy.
This past summer I've been doing this stuff for 10 years. This past summer, first time I ever set droop.
Wow.
Yep.
Look at you. You made it.
Yeah. It was like instant.
Jacob, what about a
It's just
video of
crazy.
packing for RC?
Oh
Like,
yeah. Storage.
I love storage, packing, things like that, and getting in the details of, how you pack all that stuff up and fit it. Because as I look over to multiple big totes of tires, 3 OGOs, and
You have a whole
everything
closet of
else.
OGOs.
Yeah,
Big OG again.
man, I can fill my entire truck bed up with just tires, and I definitely
Yes.
overpack sometimes.
Yes. FOMO.
Um,
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, because if I'm going to travel 3-4 hours to a race, I don't want to
Yeah,
have
you gotta have
pack of
everything.
tires. Yeah, I want everything.
So
And
there
then
you go,
even
Jacob.
this gigantic toolbox, like I take the whole thing with me, and I want
Your
everything.
Motorama video is going to be an hour and a half long. The first 20 minutes is going to be you packing. This is what you're taking. There you go.
I've got like a base video for like my kind of like tool parts OGO. I don't really have one for like tires or like packing the van or packing my car sort of thing. But I could definitely look into doing that.
See, I feel like
And as you're packing, what about how you're selecting the tires for a track you don't normally race at? What are you thinking about? Obviously, we're talking about J Concepts tires. What compounds are on your mind? What tread patterns and why?
So I mean, a lot of times beforehand, I'll try to do a little bit of research of just like what I'm going into. You know, whether that be find something on Facebook or maybe somebody posted a YouTube video of it, or maybe there's local guys that have been to the track. Maybe there's a Facebook group that exists. I'll get an idea of what the temperature level is going to be, what the track surface is like. I mean, it's 9 times out of 10, you're pretty much always going to use a reflex or a relapse. It's going to be hard to go away from that. I mean, there'll be some one-offs. Like if you go to like a super loamy track, maybe you use like a thicker lug that's a little bit more spaced out. But yeah, I mean, I'll do that back end research so I kind of have an idea of what I'm going into, and then a lot of times, I mean, that basically sets like, all right, well, I'm going to bring these tires with these tread compounds. I mean, for the majority of outdoor racing, blues and aquas, unless you're at LCRC when you're it's 90 degrees outside running on greens.
That was a weird situation there.
That was
Not always.
that was an interesting race. It
Yeah.
just, I don't know, like it felt like it went backwards throughout the weekend. It got less grippy, but it's moments like that where kind of like what you were saying of, I just want to have everything with me, because I mean, you never know. I did fully go into the Mugen weekend with a bunch of blues and aquas, very limited on greens, because I was like, there's no way. It's the middle of August, it's a big race, there's no way. But thankfully, I mean, I had some greens with me, and I was able to get through the weekend. So I mean, even if I go into something expecting one thing, I mean, I'll still have a few standby sets for good policy.
So even going to Motorama, Green Reflex is always my VIP, no matter what. Like that's the go-to. Always pretty much going to have one in the staple.
Yep.
How many pairs of Green Reflex are you bringing this weekend to Motorama?
Yeah. Yep.
All of them.
Oh.
The whole van. You open the door and they're like
falling
coming
out.
I mean,
Yeah.
don't
It's like
know how much running
that.
gonna be. I mean, that does make life a little bit easier. But I mean, I have enough green reflexes that I could get through the entire weekend with no trouble at all. Then I also I've got some relapse in green, and then a little bit of blues since we did. Well, I ended up not on blues, but it seemed to be definitely the right tire at the end of the weekend. I kind of got the relapses just in case, but if it's like it was last year, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat. It's going to be a green reflex all weekend until A2 and A3. And then A2 is kind of up in the air, but A3, it's going to be, I'd be surprised if a blue doesn't get seen. I mean, it does vary a little bit year to year. The year that I won, I mean, we were on green relapse glued foam for all three mains. So I mean, there's a little bit of variation, but yeah, I mean, I'm fairly certain that I'll probably run reflex all weekend. It's just an easy, safe thing to do.
Is there one tire you're bringing for if all the pieces fall together? You're gonna run that one special.
The one
tire?
time it worked.
Yeah.
I did think about getting some double bars. I have run.
I was just gonna say double bars.
Run a
I was
lift.
gonna say a bar tire too. Yeah.
But I showed up with a green, and it definitely needed a blue, so it wasn't terrible, but it was a little bit grabby, even for a bar tire. I don't really have any double bars in green or blue. I could probably steal some for the truck.
You got them in silvers, I bet.
So
I do have plenty of silvers.
So Jacob, for a personal thing to you,
Mhm.
I have them for Buggy and Truggy. If you want me to bring them, I can.
My hero.
I have some for Buggy.
I also have some for Buggy.
I just mounted them, I think.
All right, so I know the people I'm going to. I need tires.
We won't be there till
Well,
Saturday morning.
We're not
I'll be there
racing,
Friday.
so I'm not bringing the stuff unless somebody tells me to bring it.
Yeah.
So I have.
I'm
greens
bringing my
right here.
stuff.
Oh, they're already mounted. All right. Did you glue the
Well,
phone?
my blues are not mounted. No, I didn't. Not
Oh,
on these ones.
Worthless.
Not on these ones.
Virtually worthless.
Have you run a lot of the double bar tires, Jacob?
The buggies are up there.
No, not at all. Every time that I've tried to run it, like the shop will have some, but it's always on back order from JC. So I've run a lot of Dirt Web 2, but I did get to run some double bars on my truck, but the track was so dry for the this last race that I mean I don't think it really mattered what you ran as long as it moved around the track. So no, not a lot of experience at all. From what I've gathered, Dirt Web 2 is like kind of it's pretty balanced. Double bar is going to be a little better in the dust. Generally though, it's going to feel a touch more aggressive. And then I don't think they make ellipses for A skill anymore.
They do
I-
in green.
I know truck they don't.
I just
Yeah.
got the notification they came back in stock for buggy, the green.
All right, so
Yeah.
they still got something. And then
I
the
always
ellipses,
carry
you know,
green on me. So.
forward drive.
What about the teasers?
I have like zero experience on those.
Like full shots.
I've
Zero
heard that
full
when
shots.
they're on for truck, they're on, but
I can
I don't have any experience.
if you're coming to the opener like you guys were mentioning, get a set of green teasers.
That's gonna be the money move.
They it's like when the sun is like going down and like not necessarily moisture's coming up, but like the moisture's staying in the track. Like not wet, but not easy bake oven dry. I mean, you're gonna melt them, you know.
Yeah.
They're like a 1 or 2
As a
run tire,
teeny fan.
but I mean, it's gonna be the fastest thing ever.
So I bought a set of greens for buggy and truck just for that one time. Because I know it's going to happen at least once this year at LCRC.
Yeah, and it's like the perfect like a BQ, and I need to make sure I make this A main, or like, you know, I qualified 6th in the A, and I know I can win. Secret tire.
Secret tire.
It's not really a secret, but pretty sweet.
Yeah, I always like being super prepared. So maybe I'll have to acquire a couple sets.
Highly recommend. On that note, let's take a quick commercial break, and because I dropped the ball and didn't have the video ready, I got to do it a different way for our new sponsor of Nitro Caddy. I have the website pulled up here, and I should be, yes, we can hear me talking. So Nitro Caddy,
Around.
Dennis Brew, he's got the Nitro Caddy carrier, as you can see here. The Bump Master bump plates, stick them on your starter box, start super easy. Taylor runs those. The lights for your Nitro Caddy, all the bits and pieces and accessories that you need. There's a truck one, they make a truck one, a buggy one. Stick your radio on it, your fuel gun, your fuel bottle, yeah, right there. This guy's super stoked on it, as you can see. Got his thumb up and everything. So thank you for the support, Nitro Caddy. And yeah, check them out. Pretty sweet deal. And our other sponsor, Tony and Colleen ACS, they are making us t-shirts for Rama.
Oh.
Yes. So we're gonna hear from them.
So, how do you hobby? At ACS Hobbies, we've got everything to fuel your passion and spark your creativity. Whether you're into RC cars, model trains, boats, or planes, we have a huge selection of kits, parts, and accessories. Need paints or tools? We've got you covered. Test your skills on our RC crawler course or race on our oval track. There's always something fun to do. Plus, discover an awesome range of games for all ages. ACS Hobbies is your ultimate destination for hobby enthusiasts. Visit us today and start building your next adventure.
We're back, by the way.
Oh, we're back.
Oh, okay.
We're back.
And we're back. Jacob, on that break, we were talking about some of the stuff that you want to do in preparation for setups to your vehicles. And in the past, on the Associated, you were doing some stuff to generate some more grip. What were those things you were doing?
So the 3.2 came with a narrow pivot and solid arms, which was, all the craze when that was happening. I think that same time frame is when like Mugen went to, the narrow pivot, solid arm thing. And what I noticed with it is, there were times when it was really good, but it was kind of inconsistent from event to an event. And then even just from like run to run, sometimes it was inconsistent. So I went back to the tried and true B3, B3-1 setup, which was wide pivot, open arm. So by going to the open arm, you generate a lot more flex, which generates a lot more grip, which then in turn, the majority of the time, is going to generate more confidence in the car because you have a better understanding of what it's going to do. It's not going to just go into the turn and, do a donut one time and then push the next time. Grip is confidence. Nice
And we talked kind of briefly on the wide pivot with Mike Lopes and the Techno guys are all doing it. Why are people going to a wide pivot now, Jacob? Like, what's that doing and how is it working?
Talking about the Techno specifically, because that's just the one that's the most egregious on. Narrow pivot plus super tall tower means the car is going to roll a lot, and that is going to, on some tracks, work well. West Coast, loamy, fluffy tracks. Probably do good at Motorama, probably do good at LCRC. But you get into anything that has grip to it, the car just rolls a lot and becomes really inconsistent. That was one of the reasons why I got off the Techno. I know I kind of contradict myself a little bit because I tell at the beginning of this, the Techno is where I would go. There's a very fine line. There is driving the car within its ability, and then the driver's ability to actually go past that. The majority of drivers aren't going to need to worry about that, but when you're trying to get that extra couple tenths out of it, it can do it. You just really have to be on top of it. There's a lot of times on the indoor track, Lee and I would do hot lap stuff, and with the narrow pivot compared to his car, I could get it to, do the rotation stuff that I wanted it to, but I was constantly sawing at the wheel to make sure it wasn't overdoing it. And the Techno, like I said, it's super narrow and super tall tower, so you effectively have this really teeny triangle that you're working with. So it generates a lot of grip, which is good on those low grip tracks. But anytime you get anything that's smooth or high grip, it is just, for the top tier of things, it's just kind of hard to hang on to whilst also maximizing what it can do.
Do you think it's also a theory of why the Techno went to a smaller shock and tower?
Yes. Yeah, the wide pivot with the shorter arm, shorter tower, shorter shock, it just makes the driving experience of the car a lot more consistent from a like high speed standpoint. Everything that makes the Techno great for people getting into it or wanting a good weekend car also is its downfall when you're
On the
racing
high
at the
end. Makes a lot of
See, it's
sense.
kind of funny. Like no one's been able to really give that explanation of it, and it just makes a lot of sense.
Like I said,
Yeah.
he's like
That
Morgan
was
Freeman.
very good.
Yeah.
Makes me feel warm and fuzzy.
Where did you learn all this shit, Jacob? Like, holy crap.
some of it is just like from a setup standpoint, it's just reading the books. And obviously, there's you're gonna feel stuff out on the track, and then the other part of it for me is I just logically think about it from like a geometry standpoint. Super narrow to me, super small triangle just tells me it's going to roll a lot. And I look at that for kind of everything, for like link positioning, whether it be, steering link positioning, camera link positioning. To me, if you raise the link on a tower, well, naturally the car isn't going to roll as much. So from like an off power standpoint, you'll, depending on if we're looking at the front end of the car, higher link to me it's going to put more force on that outside tire on high speed stuff, so you can gain some more of that high speed steering. But if you wanted to, do a lot more lower speed stuff on like the indoor track, for example, well, you don't need the car to necessarily. You're not putting enough force in that outside tire with that tall link. So the lower link allows it to roll a bit more, re-puts that force on that outside tire, and then you kind of get that bit more steering. There's going to be anomalies for every car, every track, every setup, but that's how I like to look at things, is just take RC out of it. What can I figure out just based off of how this looks and the shape that it makes, basically?
That's a good way to look at it.
Yes, agreed.
It makes a lot. It just makes a lot of sense, honestly.
I concur.
Because like you're just sitting here and thinking about it, just looking at just try to imagine like a link position. Yeah, it's gonna be easier for the car to roll when it's farther down. Less. Yeah, the gapping of the pin and the link is farther apart, so it's harder for the car to roll.
Try to keep things
articulation point.
super simple. There's so many weeds you can get lost in with setup, and yeah, I try to keep it as basic, bare bones as I can.
So now we got to turn our shocks upside down on our ace scales.
For sure.
Copy.
That's what you got out of that? All right. Of all things, that.
Well, I like Jacob saying about the weeds. I just want to bring up when we went and played a circle track with Kevin, and Dwayne and Ethan had their sprint cars with the cantilever shock setup, and Ethan tried explaining to me why it's better for this one specific purpose, and I'm not saying he's not good at explaining things. I'm just, an idiot. So
okay, you can say that.
But
we'll agree.
But it's just wild, like how in the weeds you can get with taking a shock from its normal position, and then if I put it up here and put this link like this, and now all of a sudden it's just better. What?
That's way too much for me. I mean, for oval, by all means, anybody can make a left turn, but setting up the car is a totally different game for that. It is literally everything. A story that I remember from bumps is, a guy would come to the store, and if a 72 tooth spur gear was what he thought was going to work, and there were 5 on the wall, he's buying all 5 because the next guy isn't getting one. Because it matters that much. Whereas, this might be controversial, I don't know. There are so many people that try to do setup stuff on their 8-scale buggies, and I'm just like, why? Is it because
their skill level's not there? Is that where you're going?
You're not good enough. You're not at that point yet.
Yeah.
Why are you worried about all these little changes? Put a base setup on the car, drive it. For many years, I drove a car that was the exact same setup everywhere. I changed fluids a little bit, and I would literally drive the car to the point where the rear outdrive was so worn out that it snapped the dog bone that was sitting in it. And that's just how I drove. Throw a little Soma Green on it, blow it off, call it a day. A lot of this stuff, and as long as you have a good base setup, it's just not going to matter. People try to get super into it, and there are some important keys to it. Having a shock package that is appropriate is definitely important. But 9 times out of 10, if you put a 6-hole piston in it you could drill them out to what everybody drills them out to, you're probably never going to have to change it. You're just going to change your oil. And if you do change it, it's probably not going to actually make you go any faster.
I like the tire balancing too, because you think about it, if your beads are wonky and you use a whole bottle of glue on this side and none on the other side, and you spin the wheel, if we think in our heads and you're full pinning your e-buggy and that front tire is like that because it's unbalanced.
I'm kind of controversial. I've never balanced a tire.
Neither have I. That's my point. There's a lot of people that aren't. I'm sure it does help, but how much does it help? and how much do you have to keep rebalancing it with tire wear? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and as long as you know what the throttle before you put the car on the track, and you don't know, you'll probably never know.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I
Hey,
see
There's
it.
you
a
can
lot of
ba-
mind game with that too. If you go into it with, I don't know, man. I don't know if this is right.
Yeah.
It's already game.
Or you roll it and you're like, oh, my balancing clay
Mental-
fell out.
Yeah. I mean,
Balanced RC tires on RC drag, but that was it.
Well, that's a completely different
That makes
game.
sense. Yeah. To me, that's similar to Oval, where yes, there's a driver, but the setup of everything is
Yeah.
so important.
Touring car, same way.
Yeah. The beauty of off-road racing, you have the variable of a driver.
That's why it's so much better.
When new people ask me about balancing tires, I always go back to the story Mayfield or Drake would say. Drake balances tires, Mayfield does not. One time, I think it was Truggy, Drake balanced him for Mayfield, and Mayfield did something and ran off the track. And never ran balanced tires after that, I was told.
So that's all I
That's
needed.
funny.
There you
Yeah.
go. Case closed.
Yeah, done.
Yep.
I mean, it's again, it makes like it's the same thing with like turning your shocks upside down on carpet. Like, yeah, the theory is there. You're getting that weight lower. You're balancing that rotational mass. So that has to help in my head. But then in practice, it's such a minute detail of even helping, if at all.
If you're in the top 10 in the nation, by all means, do all that stuff. But if you can't go to Roar Nats and finish the top 10, I mean, I guess maybe some of the guys to B main. Yeah, it depends on, I guess, how stacked the event is. But even
I was
then,
going to say the last one was pretty
Oh,
stacked in the B.
if you're not in that top portion, none of that stuff matters.
Yeah, I can't even keep my wheels on, so.
I mean,
No, you
that
can't.
definitely helps.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't even imagine, going into turn 2 after, BQing and trying to bump and, my tire just flies off. I just
Please
couldn't
tell
even.
me you gave him shit for that. Like, all the shit.
Look, he's all just straight faced over there. Just,
But
I think he's ignoring.
I wish
He's
you
trying
would
to
have seen me on the stand.
walk away. It's fine.
Because when it happened on the stand, like, I stood there with the same steering input the whole time, like, for 2 minutes, just with my mouth open. Like, I'm like, I can't believe it just happened. I just stood there. The whole time, Anthony's like, give me my $20, motherfucker! So we had the side bet. And I'm like,
Oh, Anthony.
oh, man. Anyways.
As a race director, what's some of the funniest moments you've witnessed?
I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily like funny, but one of the things that always gets on my nerves is if there's a spot on the track that's difficult to marshal, and I'm yelling over the speaker to roll it, and then like 3 people proceed to not roll it. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, I've got this ginormous speaker on top of me. I know you hear me. And then I take a little note, and I see if they do it again, and if they do it again, then just knock them out. I'll kick them out, not knock them out. I'm not trying to get physically violent, but I'll kick them out of the
That's
event.
it, buddy!
Well, when Taylor's there, he could be your driver's stand bouncer.
That works.
I
So, that's probably my biggest thing. I guess that is kind of a funny thing when you look back on it, of just what the heck.
I enjoy seeing. Well, I don't like seeing it, and I don't like when it happens, but it makes me laugh internally when like people get like heated and like almost go to blows over something that just happened on the track. It's like, and like we've talked about it many times. Like, we're emotional, we're all trying our best, we're competitive.
Yep.
But it's just funny to me to see like 2 grown men. Like, what are you doing?
Why,
Dude?
24 hours in that spot?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Like, I get it. Maybe you did get taken out. That sucks, but you don't need to take them out back over it.
Yeah. The frustration thing is tough, because I've been on both sides, just like trying to stay like mentally cool, because it doesn't matter. But then obviously, there's always the competitive part of you where you want to do your best, and you want to know that if something happened, it wasn't because of something outside of you. If you
Mhm.
suck, or if I suck, I want to know that I just sucked, not that something happened.
Yeah, agreed. See, on the alternative, sometimes like when my wheel fell off, I would have much rather my whole front end ripped off somehow, some way. You
You
know?
could have jumped into the concrete blocks.
Yeah,
And you would have been fine.
yeah. Well, if that would have happened, then I would have been like, okay, I shouldn't have jumped in the concrete blocks. But instead, I'm just an idiot and can't tighten my wheel nuts.
You have a reminder in your phone set now.
Better.
He'll do. I was gonna say he'll do
Not
you one
better.
better. He'll show you.
Yeah.
This stemmed the whole thing, Jacob.
Yeah.
When he got home that night, we instantly started giving him shit.
This is quite the dig.
He's probably getting his
Yeah. So
radio case.
so here's my radio,
Yeah.
right?
Did you rename the model? Oh no, all right. That works.
I can never forget.
Until it smacks your arm while you're trying to race.
Well, might smack me in
He's
the
gonna use it
nuts.
as a weapon on the stand.
Yeah, and then it's got a clippy do, so then if my wheel falls off and I'm on the stand, I can be like, Uncle Mike! Whoever's there.
Keep an eye on you, because I mean, this kind of seems like a lethal weapon right here.
Yeah,
I have a pair of nunchucks on you at all times.
yeah, well, you know what? You gotta do what you gotta do.
And
So
now you're
happy.
banned from adrenaline. There you go.
Darn.
Anywho's. I might be out of things and stuff at the moment.
I'm out of things and stuff. I got 2 guys right now messaging me about Mugen stuff for Motorama though.
Oh, that's important.
Maybe you can go.
What's next in the Mugen, or not the Mugen, the YouTube realm? Like, what's your? I don't know. Do you have a grand plan for it, other than grow it?
No, not at all.
Okay.
When I was doing all the setup videos, it was really easy because I'm like, oh, well, this week I'll do this. This week I'll do this. I'll do like how to do it, and kind of explaining why behind it. And then you kind of get through all the setup stuff, and you're like, wow, suddenly I'd start thinking of things. So a lot of times it's like Sunday or Monday, and I'm like trying to figure out what the heck I'm gonna do. I try to like keep my ear out in the shop for like just anything that people like mention, like needing help with, or like asking their buddy how to do it. And if I haven't made that video yet, then that'll be the video of the week.
We need a
And
how
I mean,
a how to Marshall video too.
I could do that. I could use my little Insta 360. How to
Someone
Marshall.
else is on that.
I know. I want to compare them. I want to grade them.
Okay.
I feel like you could have a lot of fun with the how to Marshall. Like the
Yeah,
the
you really
videos
could.
of like how to take care of a baby, and it's like a baby doll, and the guy's like stuffing it in a toaster. And
Yep.
he's like, no.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you can do a similar thing with marshalling. Like you can have a baby doll, like kids shouldn't marshal.
Don't grab
and-
your head with your hand.
Yeah. Like it could be pretty funny.
Stick your finger into the spur gear.
It's just like a hot dog with the car at full blast.
Yeah.
Don't marshal it at your end where your finger goes into the diff.
Yeah. So yeah, I
Easy
expect
tip
that.
for anybody: just wear gloves.
At adrenaline, you have to wear gloves in the winter, or else you get frostbite. Oh, I wanted to
It does get chilly.
ask about your last race there. There was ice on the track.
Potentially.
No, I think it's awesome.
So we watered the track, or not we. Lee watered the track a few days before, and it was supposed to get cold at night, but it wasn't supposed to go below freezing. But we came back on Wednesday, and the track was in fact frozen. So he got a torch and melted the whole track. But then on practice on Friday, it started out dry. But I guess there was some like condensation that had formed on the roof. So as it was dripping, it was freezing on the track. So we didn't have any like big ice patches or anything, but There was ice on the track. I do think that it would be fun one weekend for an A-scale race to just dump water across one corner and then
Make an
have
actual
an ice
skate
skating
rink.
corner. I mean, that'd be cool. I mean, it's the same thing as like a tile turn.
Yeah.
You know, obviously you have to
I'd
make
like
sure
that.
it's gonna get warm enough because, well, if it does, then you get a mud pit and it's not
Yeah,
great.
that wouldn't be
Or
fun.
I guess you could do what LCRC did and just throw some oil and some fryer oil. That would work too. Yeah, it'd be cool to do that.
No, it was super cool. After your race, and I was seeing people post like how cold it was, and I'm like that.
Mhm.
I was mad I wasn't there. I'm like, that's awesome.
Oh, it definitely. I mean, and it gave you the big race experience in the sense of because we couldn't put any extra water on the track. I mean, it got super dry to the point where like, I mean, it's not like our track is ultra deep,
Right.
but you know, there was so much dust in the air that I mean, I was running my truggy with a blue body with a bright yellow sticker on the side and a white wing, and it was kind of tough to see it in the back side of the track.
That's awesome.
So
That's awesome.
yeah, a cool experience.
That's one of the things I love about.
But you know,
That's one of the things I love about racing down there in the wintertime is just like, it's so different, you know.
like a box of chocolates.
Yeah,
You never know what
exactly.
you're gonna
And it's with the cold, and but you're running clays anyway, and you're just doping them, and
Yeah.
you still have like awesome traction, and like it's just awesome. And everyone's racing on the same track, you know.
Yep.
There's no.
How do you
no
know this when
secrets.
you only made it a turn and a half?
Well, all the other races I did that
get.
day,
The other times, all right.
I was doing pretty good. I was cooking pretty good.
One thing that I do really appreciate about our track and how unique it is, you can be fast here. You might not be the fastest guy at other places, but you're not going to be far off. It's going to be really hard to go somewhere after experiencing this track and not get into a rhythm pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just it's very unique is the easiest thing I can say, and that's part of the reason why we're able to, you know, breed so many fast guys out of here. And that is,
sure.
you know, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I mean that's a pretty big accomplishment for me. Sorry, I glitched out there for a second. But you know, to be able to show up to any race with a crew of adrenaline guys and halfway fill up an A main, I mean that's pretty cool.
No, that's the goal whenever you travel with like your local group, whether you're, you know, the track owner or just like that group. Like I know when like me and Mike and like Lonzo and Chris, like our little Pittsburgh group, Taylor sometimes included, even though he's like New York or whatever now. But whenever we travel, so like of course the internal goal is like I want us all to be in the A main, you know. That it's like that team.
It just reminds me to never have you part of my group though.
Yeah, no, I'll screw that up.
Unless
loosen the
you're
wheel
like
nuts.
really good on the wheel nuts that day.
Yeah.
Can't be having you
Yeah.
bring us down like
Nah. Nope, I'll stay out of your group.
You're gonna have
I'm
a whole
looking
tent
forward to
city,
this,
and there's just Alex.
I was gonna say I'm looking forward to A main, or A main Mugen Challenge. Alex on the announcer, and Jacob up on the driver's stand. I think this could be some funny commentary.
No, I got nothing. Jacob really didn't ream me when
Okay.
when my wheel came off. He was like, "That really sucks. Starting first, losing it." You know, like he said the normal things you would say,
Yeah.
but it's not like he belittled me while he was on the mic, which he should have.
Yeah,
I was gonna
you
say
should have.
Should have. I would have taken it.
or in one of the practices at Mugen Challenge, I'll make sure not to tighten one of my wheel nuts and I'll pay a tribute.
Deal.
It's got to be in the warm up laps of like Q1.
It's definitely going in the video for sure.
Yeah, just pick one of your quals to not count because that's when your wheel's gonna fall off.
Yep.
But well, I got nothing else. Anyone else have anything for Jacob?
No.
Any pressing
No,
issues or
we're-
topics?
Were we touching any more on Motorama, or no?
I think the things we talked about briefly in the chat we should save for post Motorama.
Okay.
Post Motorama.
Or actually, here, Jacob, going into Motorama, since you're the one here racing, do you have any expectations that you set for yourself or goals?
Yeah.
Especially looking at the entry list, so you know who you're going to be racing against.
I don't know if I should put that out in the universe, but I mean, I guess I will.
Can you whisper it?
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. I'll say top 3.
Top 3, all right.
Yeah. I mean,
If
there's some wild cards in there. There's some guys that I know are going to be tough. I've already, the reason why it's top 3 is because I'm sure that, Lee and Ryan are going to be in their own realm. Although I have been making it a very clear point to Lee that I will be TQing round 1, so I will at least have that for me.
Fair.
But I want to finish in that top 3 area. If I'm not on the podium, I mean, I'll be a little upset with myself. I like to think that I can do that. And at the very least, I mean, and if I can't, I'm gonna go into the weekend with that mindset, because if I go in, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be 10th. Well, now I've already set myself up for failure. So we're gonna go into the weekend strong mentality that we're just gonna show up, set the car down, kick some butt, and get it done. And I mean, we'll see what actually happens. But done all the prep work I can. Obviously, I mean, I've got a lot of experience with Motorama, so I know that I can do it. It's just a matter of putting it all together.
Do you want to shout out a couple of those wild cards that you're thinking about?
So I know Ethan and I will be pretty close. But your Gary V's, your Gibblers. I don't know if Thomas Kaufman was on that list, but that dude, like, on main day and truck, just like shows up. He's had some good truggy mains for a couple years. Did I don't think I saw a Greg Harmer on there. He usually does well. Is he not going this year?
You know what?
I don't remember seeing his name.
I don't think he went last year either, did he?
I thought he did last
I
year.
thought he was there last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
I didn't pay too close attention because I'm not racing. I don't know if that sounds selfish, but like I peeked at it, but like
is Schreff on there? Is Schreff going?
I know Chicky is.
And if Schreff goes, is he gonna run just the 40 plus, or is he gonna run the expert?
He'd probably run expert.
If he runs,
why don't
expert,
we just look?
I mean, that's definitely a guy.
I'm looking right now.
We have the technology.
Yeah, you guys look.
The names that I shouted out there were just names that I remember off the top of my head. I don't know what the full list is. I know that there are a handful of guys that, like, if they show up, I mean, they're quick.
Right.
I mean, so far your list is like a solid northeast. Like, those are the fast guys at LCRC.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's pretty much what Rotorama this year is going to be. I guess Lee is technically part of that crew because he lives up here now. But yeah, it's going to be your couple pro guys, and then your northeast showdown.
Are you running truck and buggy, Jacob?
Yeah. Truck is slim this year.
I saw, yeah. Dawn's gonna be one, yeah. All the Gavins, the Gibblers, the Vucinas, the Nipples.
Yeah, those are definitely guys that
Collins there, okay.
If they are in the right mind,
Shreff's not going.
Be quick.
Huh.
Chicky's an expert. Javon.
I want to see Javon in the main. I hope he does it.
Is
Switzer on there? He's pretty quick.
Who?
He's always Jeff Switzer.
Jeff?
He's always a guy that, like, I mean, you can't count him out.
He's not in. Yeah, he's in there. Yeah, he's in there.
Okay. He races like 4 times a year and he's fast as shit.
Dude, that guy's fast.
That
yeah.
Lee Setzer
does get a lot
guy. Whatever. Yeah. Burns. I expect great things out of Burns this year.
He's been picking up a lot in carpet.
Yeah, he has not been deleted.
Guys to just accidentally, like, throw a rock in front of, like, Lutz or Lee.
Yeah.
Then I can teach.
We'll just get one of the
one
of the jersey barriers and just dump it.
Maybe not Lutz, because
Yeah, he's a really all right. Not Lutz. He's too nice of a guy, but Lee.
What did he do to deserve this?
I could definitely ruin Lee's weekend though.
Plus doesn't deserve it, but I know he's gonna be really fast. So if something happens that slows him down, I can just squeak in there. But yeah,
Okay.
we'll let Lutz be. He's a good guy. I like that guy. But Lee, I mean, he's all right, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of a nerd.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be
It's gonna be fun. I'm excited.
a good weekend.
I'm super stoked.
I always like going to Motorama. Always fun.
Yeah.
I mean, even if
Plan
it goes
Saturday
terrible,
night.
you go get you an Amish pretzel. I mean, you can't have a bad weekend with that.
Yeah, Jacob,
You
you're
got any
coming with us
plans Saturday night, Jacob?
I feel like we usually finish like right at 10 o'clock. So probably getting food and going to bed.
No, sir.
Okay.
No, that's when we're just starting.
I mean, I'm a very boring individual a lot of times, and if things are
We
going
know.
well, I definitely, want to be in the right space. Make sure I get all my Z's in and
The
stuff.
proper way
But
to show up is hungover and tired.
hey, I mean, if the weekend isn't going great, there may be some Dasani filtered water in my pit area. So, I mean, it all depends on how it goes. Hopefully it just goes well and, I don't have to, do the extras. But
Yeah. Well, if you just TQ every round,
yeah, I mean, if I just TQ every round, I mean, it's easy.
then you don't have to show up till like 1 o'clock.
Yeah, there you go. Well, no, I don't know. I don't know if Scotty's, super hard on it.
Oh,
but
you got a marshal.
there's some race directors better be here at, 8 a.m. for race 1. If you're not marshaling, you're getting docked.
That's me. I'm those race directors.
I hate
If
that.
I'm awake, you're awake.
I dislike it.
when it's 6
I mean-
a.m. at Mugen and we're starting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the other side of it, if you're in like that last main, just look at race 1 and go up to one of those people and give them $20 to marshal for you in the morning,
Yeah.
or race 2 or 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
see, with
they're
me,
gonna
I have
be
a lot
there.
of trust. I don't trust that. If I'm looking good for the A main, I'm not putting my trust in some random person that may or may
Fair.
not show up. But I guess that is another pet peeve of mine. I hate being the last race, and then the race director's like, "Hey, I know you're not going to do anything for 6 hours after you get here, but you have to marshal the first race." That kind of sucks, but we get through it.
Well,
Well,
Yeah.
I reckon we can wrap this thing up.
Yes.
Jacob, is there anyone you want to thank?
and probably mostly my parents just for getting me into this mess and pushing us through all these years. And obviously, there's all of like different like sponsor stuff, Coyote, FDJ, JC, obviously, Adrenaline, shout out, Mallory Performance. Lee's always a super big help. Hannah's always been good to me, when it comes to, getting to races or there was an AMS that I went to that it was just her and I. So there's just lots of good people around. So I mean, those are the immediates. Those are the easy ones. I won't go into like any crazy list because then if you miss somebody, then why didn't you talk about me? So we'll knock out the family and then the couple of sponsors.
Very nice.
Uh,
Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem at all.
We've been having you on our crosshairs to get on here for quite some time. I'm happy we were able to do it.
Yeah, Alex was doing a lot of stalking. It was kind of
Yeah.
It got
Daily
weird.
pictures.
I noticed
What'd you
you
learn?
mainly sleep on your right side. But anyways, I want to thank the normals, Nitro Caddy, of course, ACS, of course. See if I can do them all. LCRC, 46RC, MT Designs for painting Taylor's bodies, Adrenaline because they joined us. I want to thank the listeners, the watchers, the followers, the likers, the commenters, the subscribers. If you do not fall in those categories, fix it!
Oh, I need to yell.
Let's invite them in. Come on, guys.
Yeah, we have cookies.
Yeah.
It's warm. That's all I got. You cats.
I think you were trying to thank the people that I thank.
I'm thanking
So-
everyone.
So thank you. Kristen, Kevin, LCRC. I think we've been talking a bunch this week, so thanks, guys. And Mugen, obviously, through them and all that they do and building the coolest cars on the planet. I was just talking to Mike from Empty Designs, like hour before I got on this podcast. I got a couple bodies going to him. Toby at 46RC. I'll see you Friday, mate. And I think that's it.
So you guys covered pretty much everything. But we also had what? Techno, MKS, Tekin, awesome companies. J Concepts, of course, as well. I may have just, I don't know. I'm tired.
I got one I can throw
Hungry.
in.
Yeah.
A painter. I have a painter now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Ronnie Stetzer at SS Hobbies.
Yeah.
It's still newish. So yeah, I mean, if you ever need some paint work done, he does great work.
I was just gonna say thanks to Chris for painting my bodies. I've been texting him about him for the last hour because he's been drawing the designs and sending them to me.
Wow,
But-
just wear him focused. Right about your
Are
body.
you staying with the same scheme, Mike, or are you doing something different?
We're changing two things. We're getting rid of all the red because I hated
Oh.
it after a while. So it's orange faded into more orange, and then the back section to break up the black a little bit, we're doing a little bit different of a design.
Okay,
So
sweet.
there was a big scheme of changing colors, and it didn't turn out very good. I didn't like it.
Highlighter yellow,
We-
whole thing.
That's what I
so
need.
basic. That's just basic.
Whatever color
I've had
the
the same
pipe
scheme
is.
for like 15 years. Yeah, it's hard for me to get away from the 15-year-old scheme.
Mhm.
So that's another reason why I don't want to change it.
Yeah.
Just subtle differences.
Yeah, I really it's a pet peeve of mine for people that change schemes like every year or two. Like completely. It's one thing if you
Right.
change up the colors a little bit or change the lines, but like
And it's funny, I've seen two people on Facebook that have like identical copies of my bodies.
Ooh.
And I've never given them out. I've kept every single painted body.
It's a little flattery.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Just really like you.
That's fine. I don't care. I just think it's funny.
all right. Let's put a pin in this or whatever they say. Thanks again, Jacob.
Yes, sir. Not a problem at all.
Thanks, Jacob.
Good.
Thank
It's
you.
been, it's been fun.
And thank you for joining in, listeners. Peace out.